Hello. In this video, I'm going to talk about what I learned this week. My thoughts are usually scattered, so this is my attempt to organize them. For the past couple of weeks, I've been trying to understand more about what GPUs are and also vector processors. The first thing I tried to understand was what is so different about a GPU and a CPU. I mean, when you look at the names, they don't feel that different because they're both processors. The only difference is really the C and the G. So to understand it, I read about the architectures of GPUs, and if I try to explain that simply, GPUs are designed in such a manner that they need to get a lot of things done at one time. CPUs, on the other hand, are designed to optimize the speed of how quickly you can get that one thing done, and that's it. I'm obviously simplifying here and not going into the technical jargon, but if you really do need to go into that technical jargon, the GPU focuses on optimizing the throughput, so trying to increase the bandwidth as much as possible, pushing that boundary, while CPU focuses on optimizing latency, so to try and make it as fast as possible. Every year, we see advancements in the processor industry, with them coming up with insanely fast CPUs. And we started hitting the wall because of the physical limitations of how fast we can make the processor by just making the chip smaller and denser. So they had to come up with clever optimizations and workarounds to still improve the speed. The industry has turned to multi-core processors and caching. They say we have a limit to how fast we can go, and we are bound by the speed of light. And when we hit that dead end, the only thing that can help us with this speed is memory optimization and caching. The concept of caching is simple. We try to keep things we might need frequently with us all the time. And the extension of that concept is if we access something from one place, there is a possibility that we might need the neighboring items from that place again. So we have to keep that handy too. So, yeah, that's a bit of trivia on CPUs, caching, and memory management. I then got into how various GPUs are architected and what I can do with them. So I tried to understand what sort of applications would I write to get maximum out of GPUs. And there are a lot of applications to pick from as GPUs are everywhere, uh, ranging from video games, rendering, to training neural nets, to building physical simulations. And to understand this, I tried to do something simple. I tried to see if I can process an image using a GPU and do some operations on it. I used the NVIDIA GPU and its CUDA library. I took an image and I wanted to see the RGB image copied to GPU and do operations on that. So yeah, here I have an image with some set of RGB values. Now usually the grid is a lot bigger with thousands of pixels that we are trying to process on our screen. This is just an example. The first thing I did is take that image from main memory through the PCI Express to GPU. Now it's up to the GPU to process each pixel. What I want to do with this image is convert it to grayscale. It's a simple operation. The CPU can also do it, but the GPU is a much better choice because CPU can not process as many pixels at the same time as the GPU can. Here, because the individual pixels are not dependent on the neighboring pixels or anything of the sort, we can do all of these operations parallelly. And so this is what the partial logic of the code will look like for individual pixel operations to convert it to grayscale. The processor will spawn threads in blocks, and the hardware will take care of the math of how to divide it so that will utilize the GPU in the most optimal manner. Each thread has one job, and that is to convert the pixel into its equivalent grayscale counterpart. All these ALUs will do that. Once that is done by all the threads, we will save the result in GPU memory and then bring it back to main memory for us to process further. So, yeah, this is a classic data parallelism example on the GPU. I'm still diving deeper into what I can do with the CPUs and GPUs and how different their architectures are for different applications. If you liked this rant of mine, I will probably try to make more of these for the things I'm learning next time. Uh, if you like, I don't mind sharing them with you. But yeah, till then, peace out. Keep learning.